Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about something going into 2025. You're getting a lot of these, ooh, what's happening in 2025? What I want to see in 2025. But something I always kind of talk about, trends, and the way brands kind of hang on to these trends and how it's kind of ruined the beauty industry in terms of the sales part of it, the brand part of it, and the products we get throughout the year, right? Meaning we get the same thing over and over again. So I want to talk a little bit about, is the beauty industry too focused on these trends that are kind of made up online? Should brands start doing something a little bit more personal to them, a little bit more unique from everyone else? That's what we're going to talk about today. Before we get into it, please do consider subscribing. I will be doing my makeup throughout this video, and I'm going to be using, of course, #ad, because it's my collection, my divination palette with Blend Bunny Cosmetics. Ooh, it's got all it's got like setting spray on it. There's glitter everywhere, there's everything everywhere. This is still available right now on Blend Bunny Cosmetics, Glisten Cosmetics if you're in the UK. I'll list it worldwide where you can get it down below. This collection also has the lashes, the stackable lashes. So you have a full length that's quite flat and it flicks out at the side so you can see all that beautiful detail you do on your eyelids. And then a stackable option or just a corner option lash for the outside corner. And then of course, my two of these, you get 4 ones, my Betrayal and Good Fortune gloss balms. These are a lip gloss with more of a balmy texture, so it's not sticky. Good Fortune is a green that color corrects any redness and neutralizes the lip. It also has gold reflex throughout, so if you have a deeper lip, it gives you this beautiful goldy green. And the Betrayal, which is a deep purple with blue reflex. I'll be using it all throughout this video. It's linked down below there for you, and a discount code if you want a little bit of discount. Okay, let's get into it. I've primed my eyes, I've primed my, I was gonna say cheeks. Why would I have primed my cheeks? Something's not right with my lighting today. What is it? What's going on? Am I just pale now? Is my tan gone? I think that's it, but what's happening? Are my eyes just blurry? So like I said, this topic's been on my mind for a while. Have you ever felt, the only way I can think to describe it is a wheel, right? The beauty industry has become this wheel, constantly chasing trends, constantly chasing like viral trends, right? Like, ooh, this is viral now, this is viral now, let's release a PR kit that is based on this one trend. We're going to break it down, how this obsession with going viral impacts the industry. That's the main thing I want to talk about. The makeup we buy and even the way we view beauty, right? Let's start by taking a step back. Thinking about how trends not just affect our makeup routines, but also our money, what we spend on it, our mental health. Viral trends aren't just fun, you know, they can also create a lot of pressure to conform, constantly adapt, and keep up with what's in. It's like we're chasing something that never really lasts, you know? But let's talk on why this is happening. How did we get to this point? And is it even sustainable? That's a word. Listen, let me know your opinions in the comments down below. What you think about viral trends. Do they get you? Do you feel like you have to conform to these trends or be part of these trends? I would especially be interested if you are a content creator too. Is that something you focus on? Are trends something you try and take part in all the time? Okay, let's talk about the rise of viral trends, because this is nothing new. This isn't anything that started with TikTok. You know, we like to blame TikTok for everything. Okay, so let's talk about how we got here. Social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube have completely changed the way we consume beauty content. You know, maybe we would have got beauty content from magazines in the past, or even when the social media platforms first started out, it was a lot different. Back in the day, right, trends would develop more slowly, often driven by celebrities or runways. But now, one video or post can spark a global trend, worldwide trend. Take the soap brows trend, right? I'm kind of doing it now. For example, it started with makeup artists. This is a makeup artist tip that a lot of makeup artists use on stage in real life, not to spike everything up. But the soap brows trend started with makeup artists sharing this tip online, sharing it on Instagram, using, you know, backstage secrets or their makeup artist secrets. And more often than not, a kind of tip like this is taken by somebody who maybe isn't as experienced as a makeup artist, or maybe they're more of an influencer than a makeup artist, and they kind of take it and run with it and make it a little bit crazy, a little bit wild. Maybe they don't do it exactly how the makeup artist was describing, and then it starts to go viral, and then everyone starts to do it, and then suddenly everyone was using soap to sculpt their brows. Or remember the clean girl aesthetic? Remember that? It's still kind of around now. That's particularly like a lifestyle trend, right? Now, lifestyle trend now, not just a makeup look. And while it's amazing to see creativity over different platforms flourish, it's also creating a culture of constant churn. Beauty brands and influencers feel pressure to jump on the next big thing or risk being left behind. And this is a weekly, daily situation. This leads to a kind of frenzy where trends come and go faster than we can keep up. And the irony, many of these trends aren't even practical for everyday life. Soap brows may look great, right? In a curated Instagram photo, on a shoot, on a runway. Are they really something we need to do daily with a block of soap? You know what I mean? Is it really that practical? That's the thing with trends. People do take them as literal, you need to do this advice, not just like a suggestion, not just another option. And we start to see that like repetitiveness. You know, every influencer you follow, every beauty influencer you follow is now doing like the same thing, in hopes that anyone searching for this trend will come across their content and it will lead to more followers or more interaction on their posts. You know what I would love to know? Is this something that happens in other parts of communities? Because I mean, I consider myself in the beauty community because I make makeup videos. Are you into a different community? Are you into like a sewing community? Are you into like a horror community? Are there trends that every single influencer within that community does that you're like, you know what, I'm over it, I don't want to see this again, I'm gonna scream if I see it again? Okay, let's talk about the role that algorithms play on these social media platforms, right? Platforms reward content that is attention grabbing, unique, or even extreme. And this means that often brands, creators push more of like an outlandish trend or challenge just to go viral. It's not just about beauty anymore. It's not just about makeup anymore. It's about entertainment, which often leaves actual makeup artistry behind, right? And we know that the beauty content world has changed. You look even at my content, right? Which I still do my reaction content. I still do makeup videos. But you know what performs well now on social media is commentary. Videos like this. I'm still doing my makeup. I'm still doing, I'm still talking about beauty, but it's more of a commentary video on what's going on. And not everyone's into it, but you will even see from the views on my videos that actually they're the kind of videos that perform better than anything else. So I'm aware that the beauty world changes, the beauty space changes, and you have to keep up. Although trends might be something you don't want to participate in, and I actually don't as a content creator, there is that pressure, perhaps more on smaller content creators that want their content to be seen, to conform to these trends or conform to these challenges or styles of creating content, shock value. And can we just talk on how this transcends different, oh my God, transcends, that's such a big word for me. Different social media platforms, right? For example, there may be someone who is extremely popular on TikTok, but the moment somebody mentions them on YouTube or Instagram, the moment a brand posts them on Instagram, oh my God, they should have stayed on TikTok, because the comments they are getting are vile. And listen, I may not support them as a content creator, but I also don't support just insulting people for the sake of it, you know? And these are usually content creators that don't disclose their ads on TikTok or are known to be problematic or done something slightly problematic in the past. People don't want them on their other platforms, so it doesn't matter what they do, people just aren't into them, you know? Here's why trends really annoy me. This is what I really want to talk about, and that's the impact they have on consumers. Including me, I'm a consumer too, still. Viral trends can be fun sometimes, but they often come with Downsides, for starters, right? The pressure to keep up can be exhausting. Even for consumers, I see your comments, I see your messages. Every week there's a new must-have product or a must-do technique. One week it's like glowy, beautiful skin, and then the next week it's all about a matte finish. And let's not even get started on the financial side of this, right? It seems like the beauty industry recently thrives on making us feel like we need more products, more tools, more techniques. And who benefits from this? Not us, really. It's the brands and the influencers who profit from this. Now listen, when I say influencers, of course I don't mean all. I'm not out here creating content saying, you know, buy this or your makeup's gonna be shit. But specifically, I'm gonna be really specific. TikTok shop. It's TikTok shop for me. It's the, like, you know, this product's going viral, you need this. And trust me, although a lot of us out there are strong-willed, you know, we have willpower, we're like, no, I know I don't need that. There are still people who are, oh my God, my nose is squeaky. There are still people out there who are just getting on the internet, who are just getting online, who are just starting to learn about makeup from influencers. And that can be anyone of any age. It doesn't necessarily mean they're young. There's people, you know, who just only start to look at makeup. Perhaps they're in their 40s, perhaps they're in their 50s. Perhaps they used to wear makeup and then they got put off it a little bit and now they're returning to wanting to wear more makeup and being introduced to this world of constant new makeup, constantly new things. Let's say you haven't been interested in beauty for a while and then you come online and suddenly you're being introduced to this world of like, oh, must-have items. You're gonna think, fuck, I've really been left behind. I really do need these items. And with like brands constantly launching the same products online, and I always give the same examples, but glow drops or whatever, bronzing drops, and then remember that stage we all went through where everyone was dying over powder foundation. Every brand was releasing a powder foundation, and suddenly every influencer was like, you need this powder foundation. And let's be real, a lot of the time it's the fear of missing out. I am one for being worried about missing out on stuff. If I see a product, like I always say, if there's a collection, if there's a product I really like the look of, I need the full collection because I'm worried it's gonna sell out. I am a sucker for limited editions. But here's the deal though, these trends are like fleeting. They last for a week and then we're on to the next. So that $50 highlighter or that $30 lipstick that you bought that went viral last month, last week, it's already gathering dust. You know what I mean? Because now everyone's obsessed with skin tints, not being bronzed, having more of a wintry glow. Now being more of a strawberry girl rather than a glazed donut girl, you know? You're not a mob wife anymore from the mob wife trend. Now you're a crusty girl or whatever the trends are. I don't even know anymore. And listen, although girl is on the end of every trend, boys do it too. This cycle, this constant cycle can make us feel like what we already own isn't good enough. Already, it also pushes the idea that beauty is about, you know, validation in terms of what products we own that week. It's not really about using the products that you own, that you've bought over the past 5 or 6 months, you know, from being on TikTok or being on YouTube or being on Instagram that you've seen. It's about constantly buying the next best product. And although, you know, I definitely don't do it as much anymore. I'm very much into doing my own thing with the brands that I like. There is the occasional product I will buy, however, that goes viral, maybe just to prove a point more than anything. The Patrick Tar eyeshadows, for example, that weren't the best, although everyone was like bigging them up, saying they were incredible, mainly so we can stay on the PR list. The Kat Von D Good Apple foundation, for example, that everyone was bigging up for ages when it really wasn't amazing. And I think that's where we have lost the artistry side of it. It's all gone towards sales, and I think that's what makes me most uncomfortable when it comes to how the beauty industry is now, or how the influencer industry is, sorry, I should say, because tied in with brands. Because yes, you know, we have affiliate links, yes, we sell stuff that we review, that's our thing, that's our job. We're you know, we buy things so you don't have to, we review things so you don't have to. We, you know, talk about things that you might like, things that we might like. But there's this extra edge to it now where it's like buy. Either so I can make my commission, or I'm just talking about this product because it's currently in fashion this week. And I think that's what makes me not like, I guess. TikTok, you will rarely see me post on TikTok. Actually, if you follow me on TikTok, most of the time it's gonna be, I'm gonna try and be better at it, but most of the time it's gonna be ads from brands that I'm partnering with who the contract says I need to also post on TikTok. That'll be it, because I don't like TikTok. I don't like it as a platform. But, you know, by doing that, I am kind of also contributing to that it's just ads and it's just selling issue, but I just can't stand being on it. TikTok truly is a burden of a social media platform in my eyes. And it doesn't mean I don't go on there and see things I like of course I do. Let's also talk about something a lot of people don't think about, accessibility and being confident and comfortable with the trends. The trends we see now often cater to certain skin types, certain skin tones, or facial features, leaving a lot of people feeling left out, excluded. A lot of these trends aren't like even achievable for anyone without specific products, specific tools, or techniques. And that's something the beauty industry really needs to address. But also as influencers, we do as well. You don't need a certain product to do a trend. You can use whatever you have at home. You shouldn't have to have zero acne to be able to take part in a trend. You shouldn't have to have fair skin as your only way to be part of a trend. Clean girl aesthetic, all this kind of stuff. A lot of the trends just rely on you being young and white with clear skin. I always say there's a new kind of influencer around at the moment, and it's not a makeup influencer. It's not really a beauty influencer. It's like a tinted skincare influencer. They're not doing makeup. They do like a full face of makeup, but it's a tinted moisturizer, a tinted lip balm, just like a fleshy, sparkly eyeshadow on the lid. And it's like, okay. So you can apply a tinted sunscreen. Great. Like what's the, apart from showing us the product, what else do you do? Are you an expert in the ingredients? Are you an expert in how this product will work on other people because you have worked on so many other people? Are you an expert makeup artist? Are you, like, what's the deal? Or are you just somebody who sits at home and applies tinted SPF and you make a commission every time someone buys it? You're a salesperson. And some people might argue as well that most influencers are salespeople, which I can agree with to a degree, but not every part of your content has to be a sale. It can be a skill you've learned. It can be a technique. It can be a tip. But a lot of trends require new product. It requires new tools. And a lot of people don't have money bleeding out their assholes to just buy new products whenever a new trend happens. Let's talk about the brands themselves, because these are the people that annoy me probably the most. So for brands, right, the viral trends can be a blessing, but you know, it can sometimes be a curse. So on one hand, like, the trends give them an opportunity to sell products in huge numbers, right? There's a flip side. Brands often rush to create or recreate products that cater to trends without even thinking about it, or without even thinking about longevity of their brand, or even off that product. We've all seen one-hit wonders, glitter lipstick, pastel eyeliners, or bizarre skincare tools that are only relevant for a few months. Even in makeup, people were buying spatulas just to recreate that kind of like spatula foundation application technique, and then you never really see them do it again. Oh, my foundation is really light, I just realized. You know, Amazon probably got like a hit of spatula orders. And then they probably haven't seen people order spatula in a really, really long time. But that's the thinking though. That's how brands must be thinking. They recreate something and then they literally move on to the next. Because now that trend, that product that everyone was jumping on, the bronzing drops. If you have bronzing drops at home from a brand, when was the last time you saw that brand talking about their bronzing drops? People still do want to be bronzed during winter. And that leads me on to the issue of oversaturation with these products. When every brand tries to capitalize on the same trend, the makeup world gets flooded with these products, right? Think how many dewy skin primers we have, how many matte lip kits we got that launched within months of each other. bronzing drops. How many bronzing drops did we get in a month of each other? Think how many brands were releasing their version of a Huda Beauty pink powder, for example. And that's another thing I want to touch on another day, is that brands no longer kind of seem to focus on their own stuff, and no one releases. I'm actually doing a video about it soon. No brand releases iconic products anymore. They kind of just do what is expected of them, I guess, or what every other brand is doing. It's like, okay, every brand just does their version of what's popular in that moment, which isn't something brand new. But when brands are literally releasing the exact same shit every single month, a few days from each other, it just gets boring. It gets so boring. Oh, I did not need to use that much of that concealer. Whoopsie. It's okay, we can warm it up. And I know a lot of you may be thinking, well, this is really rich coming from somebody who is an influencer, but I just wish that brands would calm down. I don't review every bronzing drop. I don't review every something. I just want brands to take a second and do something exciting, you know? It's overwhelming for us as consumers, even as influencers, even as people who maybe don't even buy the product but are interested in beauty. It's overwhelming to see the same thing over and over again. Let's also consider being innovative. With so much focus on trends, brands neglect it. Brands neglect the fact that, you know what, we would really like to see some innovation within the makeup world. So instead of creating high quality, versatile products that stand out and stand the test of time, they focus on quick wins, and that's such a missed opportunity for brands. If you make a product that is your brand's icon, that's going to stand the test of time. That's going to be you as a brand, not which brand has the best pink under eye powder, which I do have to say, if you do want a nice one, it is Huda Beauty. The pressed ones are beautiful. I'm not a fan of loose powder in general, but the pressed ones are stuns. So listen, how do we break this cycle? How do we break this cycle as consumers? How do we break this cycle as influencers? And so we're going to start with like a bit of a shift mindset wise, like both things, both for us as consumers and for the industry. Let's talk about what we can do, right? Here's some tips for 2025 when purchasing, and some things that I've been putting into practice myself when it comes to thinking, what am I going to review? What's actually important? How important is makeup? You know what I mean? But you know, what's important to me? I think we need to buy a little bit more with intention. What's our intention in purchasing this product? Instead of chasing trends, let's focus on products that genuinely work for you, right? Ask yourself if you still want this in 6 months' time. Even in a month's time, right? One thing that really got my attention was a video I watched recently, and it was Courtney Quarantine, who has like this podcast style video on her channel. She does a podcast style video. You know what I'm trying to say? She spoke very much about personal style, your unique trend. Who are you when you're wearing your makeup? You know, what does your makeup say about you? And I think that's something we've really lost recently, is doing our makeup in a way that shows off who we are as people. And that's why, I mean, this year I've really enjoyed following people who do have more of a unique style to them. Courtney Quarantine being one of them. On Instagram, Ghoul in Japan, incredible, because they have that aesthetic that I really enjoy, that more alternative kind of look. And when I look at trends that are more popular now on social media, I don't relate to any of them. I don't want to be clean. I want to be clean. You know what I mean? I don't feel like a clean girl, or I don't feel like I'm doing makeup like this. And when I'm shopping for makeup, I don't want to be like what everyone else is doing. I want to be different. You know what I mean? I want to have my own style. And even though I don't wear full face of makeup to events and stuff like that, my clothes will say that, my accessories will say that. Trends are fun, but your unique look is you. Can you make that trend you? Does it feel like something you can, baby? Does it feel like something that you can turn into your own trend? Is a powder foundation gonna work if you are a clean girl style? Do you want to follow the latest Hailey Bieber trend when actually your style is you'd rather look like a corpse? Talking about me. Is looking like a glazed donut a priority for you. But what Courtney has said in that video really, really did stand out to me, because I was like, she's right. Everything we do follows trend and follows. Someone creates a look and then everyone tries it out. Everyone shows you how to best create that trend. And then you have brands releasing the products to make that trend easier to create. Oh, lashes. Oh my God, I need mascara. Everything's going wrong. I'll do mascara afterwards. And that's another reason I'm falling in love with brands who are doing their own thing. Fui, for example, who just always do their own thing. The brand called Risky, who make incredible products. Girl Cult, who make incredible products, because they're not doing what everyone else is. They're innovating, they're making incredible, unique products that we haven't really seen before. And that's interesting to me. That's much more interesting than looking like Hailey Bieber. Or everyone looking like Hailey Bieber, you know? Especially because I'm a man with a beard, how much like Hailey Bieber can I look? So like, let's not feel pressured, right, to change our makeup routine or change the way we do makeup, or change the way we do our makeup every time a new trend pops up, right? Follow creators with depth. Seek out creators who provide more thoughtful content for you. And that isn't me policing whose content is thoughtful or not. For you, what you find is thoughtful. More timeless beauty advice rather than just trend chasing. As for the industry, I think brands need to focus on creating more high quality, versatile products that stand the test of time rather than lasting a week. You're boring us. You're worried about the beauty industry? Excite us, you know what I mean? Maybe ease up on releasing new collections every 5 minutes. And let's not forget, consumers also have the power. If we collectively demand more from brands by resisting the urge to buy into every trend that happens or every product that comes from a trend, we can create the beauty world that we want. You have more power than you think. Let's celebrate more longevity, more timeless beauty and individuality over fleeting fads. At the end of the day, the beauty industry's, I guess, obsession with viral trends is a reflection of the fast pace of social media, the fast pace of TikTok, the fast pace of Instagram. But we do have the power to slow things down. You know, more thoughtful trends can be fun. Remember like Shop My Shelf or whatever it was? No, that's a social media platform. Shop My Stash, when when influencers would go to what they already have and create a look with stuff that perhaps they hadn't used for a while, or, you know, stuff that maybe they forgot they have had, because easily done if you have loads of makeup, you know. Trends can be fun, but they don't have to define us or define the content we make. Let me know in the comments, how do you feel about trends? I know you hate them. Do you love them? Do you hate them? I have to ask. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me just get this lip on. Please do consider subscribing. And you know what? Share your favorite content creators down below in the comments. Let's discover some people that we align with this year, that we find fit our personal narrative of what we love about makeup. Let me know in the comments who those people are. Thank you again so much for joining me. Please do consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.